Some of y'all gonna be mad at me, but 8-year-olds do not belong on social media. There are two sides to the argument. One is 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 do not belong on social media until you turn 18 years old. Then there's another side that is like 8-year-olds are fine on social media. And then there's the middle ground. It's like, as long as you're mature enough. I'm going to break down why social media is not for kids who are 8 years old or anyone under the age of 13, and then I'm going to give you some other thought processes as well. And remember to stay into the end because I always leave insights, advice, resources you do not want to miss. This is not just a rant video or an opinion video. I know what I'm talking about. Hey, I'm CyberFareedah. I'm an award-winning Forbes 30 Under 30 online safety educator helping you protect your kids online. Number one, there is not the infrastructure to protect those type of kids online. I mean, really young kids. Two, no 8-year-old is mature enough to navigate social media on their own. Three, even if you are mature at 8 years old to navigate social media by yourself, you are an anomaly. You are an exclusion to the rule. The actual rule is no 8-year-olds on social media unless you have some parental involvement or a reason to be on social media. I'll talk about that later, but let's get into the dangers of having kids that young on social media. Number one is predators. They're hackers. They're groomers. There are people online that target kids because they know that kids are more vulnerable and more susceptible to certain suggestions that will put them in compromising positions as they get older. There was a study by Common Sense Media. They did a study in 2021 and they found that increasingly more 8-year-olds are on social media. Now, of course, we know that there are kids who are younger than 8 years old on social media, but that demographic, the 8 to 9-year-olds, are a little bit more on social media than they were before. Social media is not just the internet. An 8-year-old can be on the internet, or they can play an age-appropriate or mature-based appropriate game for their level. But social media is not meant for kids because the content, the way that the algorithm operates, everything is made for someone who has a mature mind, a mature understanding, and is able to navigate the space. Even at 13 years old, many kids, or many teens in particular, aren't able to navigate it in a way that's safe and secure. I'm not saying you can't have fun or you can't talk to your friends. I'm saying that a lot of teens aren't able to do that. However, there are some teens who are able to navigate social media at 13 years old pretty well, and they're pretty okay for the most part. I was one of them. I've been gaming and I was on social media. I think I really just started joining on social media when I was 16, but I really started big time gaming on 13. So I'm not just talking about it from a standpoint of like my background in cybersecurity awareness or threat intelligence, or my background in right now like online safety education or working with parents. I'm actually talking about it from somebody who actually grew up on social media, who used the social media channels, that did talk to strangers, that did see the good, bad, ugly, and beautiful sides of social media, especially as a young age, because I was 13 when I first joined. I can't even imagine joining at 8 years old. I was pretty mature, but I was not ready to navigate it by myself. And most kids are in that circumstance. Even if you're really smart, it's not about you being smart. It's about you being 8 years old and not being mature enough to be able to handle what is coming at you at social media at 8 years old. However, I am highly aware that I do have people who are 8 years old who follow me on social media who are probably watching this right now, and I want you to stay safe. So even if your parent is not watching me, which is typically this entire channel is really for protecting your kids online, for parents and caretakers, teachers, educators, those type of things, but I do have a younger audience who watches my videos as well, and I want you to be safe, as mature as you believe you are. And honestly, if you really believe you're mature and you can navigate it, you might be actually mature. However, you do have to remember that other people can try to take advantage of you. They try to take advantage of adults daily, on the daily. There's cyberbullying for adults on the daily. So when it comes to somebody who is developing, right, our minds at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, whatever, is always developing. And so the younger you are, the more chances of things slipping through the cracks, and you do not want that. So while we're on this topic, let's talk about how you can protect yourself from the dangers of being on social media, whether you're 8 years old or you're a parent of someone who is in the same category or the same age range. Or even if you're a parent, you're watching this and you're like, my kids are not on social media. I told them they can't be. I'm monitoring their devices. I know everything. This is me like moving my non-existent hair. I mean, I do have hair, but it's under my scarf. Anyways, whatever. Even if you're in that position, you never know if your kid actually has social media or not. Sometimes they can have it on somebody else's device. Maybe they go to a family's house or a friend's house and they're able to be on social media there and they have it in that instance, right? Or they are seeing things on social media or engaging with it, even if it's not their account, it's a cousin's account or a aunt's account or an uncle's account or someone and a friend or someone at school, whatever it is, they still can engage with social media. So you want to be prepared for protecting your kids even before you believe they're on social media, even if they're not on there right now. Number one thing is you want to develop a relationship with them. You want to develop a connection with them of trust, of integrity, of safety, of peace, of non-judgmental open spaces where your kids can connect with you and talk with you. If your kids don't believe that they can trust you as a parent, it's going to be really, really difficult to protect them online because the normal things that you're going to be able to do if you have a trustworthy relationship will not fly, especially if you want to put parental controls or parental monitoring in particular. Controls are a little bit different. That's more adding boundaries and filters. But if you're trying to put parental monitoring on your kids' devices, you cannot do that unless you have a conversation, unless they know about it, unless you have set guidelines, unless you have a great relationship. You have a set foundation of trust and integrity and honesty and understanding and non-judgmental spaces. That is when parental monitoring works. Parental monitoring does not work if you're just putting on your kid's device and they can't talk to you. They do not trust you. They feel violated. Their privacy is being violated. They're not able to communicate with you. Those are things that are a recipe for disasters. That's a recipe for a very, very sneaky kid. And they will find every which way to get the privacy they want and the freedom that they want. This is why I always talk about holistic online safety, giving your kids the freedom they want and the safety they need. Having a harmony between the two and allowing yourself to change some of the guidelines that you have or alter it or have conversations or figure something out that works for both of you. This is not to say that the kid rules a relationship and you are not the parent and you can't veto something or you can't take away social media. Like I said in the beginning, social media is not for 8-year-olds. Like, it's just not. So you can have a rule in your house where you don't get social media until you're 16 or 18 or until you leave the house. Whatever works for your family. Or maybe it's 13. Every kid is different. So just because you have a house rule doesn't mean it's going to be every single kid follows that. So an older kid may be able to be on social media and a younger kid is like, we're going to do gaming but no social media. It really depends on your household, your beliefs, your morals, your values, your alignment, the maturity of your kids, your stress levels, everything. To protect your kids from grooming or predatory behavior, then have conversations with them about that and show them what it may look like. And then have like role play moments, right? Where you say, okay, if someone says this to you, like, what are you doing? Or where you live? Or what are you wearing? Or can you take a picture of your clothes? Or can you get undressed for me and take a picture of this? How do you respond to that? What do you do after that? Give them those actual scenarios and play it out with them so they can understand exactly what to do, why it's wrong, why they shouldn't do it. Talk about boundaries, talk about consent. All of these things are prepping your kids for a world where they can understand how to navigate it safely, whether it's offline or online. But my entire channel is based on online things. So if you're not already subscribed, then subscribe to the channel. Every single video, everything you see on the channel is all about protecting your kids and teens online holistically. And so if you're not already subscribed, you have to be. You don't have to be, but like, if you want the information, then hello. Let's go on to the other side, shall we? Why can some 8-year-olds be on social media? Why is it more safe for them in certain instances, but not for other people? Let's talk about the 8-year-olds that are the anomaly. The 8-year-olds that are not in the same space as most 8-year-olds, right? And these are people most likely, and I'm going to give one particular example. I'm not going to go too deep because I don't want this video to be too long. I just want us to start thinking about different scenarios of when it could work. But most of the time, like I said, about 90% of the time, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. But there is a 10%. I do like to acknowledge it because my entire channel is about holistic, big picture understanding and view of different understandings and harmony between the two. But if there is a kid that is an entrepreneurial spirit type kid, they have a business, especially if they're like a co-owner of a business with their parent, that is a great way to be on social media, even at 8 years old. The difference between this 8-year-old and this 8-year-old, or the one that we just talked about before, entrepreneur is that this one has the actual backing of their parent. Their parent is with them. The account does not belong to the 8-year-old because guess what? In the terms of condition, you have to be at least 13 years old to be on social media anyways. So you're breaking the terms and conditions and the laws around that app. So that's a whole other type of discussion. But before you're 13 years old, you can be on the app if you have a parent that is running the account and you are there with them as a co-owner of the business. And so I've seen multiple kid entrepreneurs that have awesome accounts and they have consented to have their pictures and their videos talking about their product. Whatever it is, a kid has made a product that they want to use or they want to put out to the world for some type of impact. I've seen that work super well, especially because the parents are the one that has the account and the kid is just there as the talent. So it's like the parent is the manager and the kid is the talent, and they're doing something jointly, whether it's a book or a video series or whatever it is, to make some impact in the world. I do believe that is really awesome and it's really commendable, and I love to see that, especially because there are parents helping their kids reach their dreams through something that is humongous like social media. Now, there are benefits for social media, especially for teens. We're not going to talk about that here. We're really talking about young kids as well. The benefits of kids being on social media with their parents, with a reason, with supervision, is that they're able to grow their brand, they're able to grow their spot in the world, they're able to reach more people, they're able to have some impact, and they're kept in a little safe bubble because it's not them who's on social media, it is their parent. And if their parent wants them to see a really nice comment or to see the results of the work that they worked so hard to do, they can show them, hey, this is the awesome things that people are saying about you. They really like your account. Or this person who's another 8-year-old in, like, I don't know, Canada, or someone who's in Thailand, they really loved your video and they're 8 years old too, and their parent was telling me that they really enjoyed the work that you're doing. That can be extremely positive on their social self-esteem, their confidence, their skill building, their understanding of how business works, about connection, networking, all of those things. So when they're in a safe context, when it's a harmony type context, it's okay. When we're talking about the dangers of 8-year-olds being on social media, it's when they have their entire account, they're talking to anybody, they have no safety and security concerns, the parents, don't know exactly that their kids are on social media or even how to protect them, and they're just letting them be on there to do whatever they want. Remember that every family is different. There is not one way or the highway. There are many different views to look at it. But when it comes to children on social media, the platforms, the laws, the understanding, the algorithms, the space is not meant for children, and they do not have children in mind. There are so many inappropriate websites, inappropriate conversations, things that are not fit for someone who's 8 years old. When they turn 13, it's more likely that they're able to start having those type of conversations, and I actually highly recommend that you have it. You are not destroying your kids' your innocence by talking about things they need to understand to navigate the online space. 8 years old, 9, 10, 11, 12, that is the time to start talking about those things before they even get on social media. So by the time they're 13, 14, 15, or 16, they're able to navigate the online space if they are on social media in a way that is safe for them. All we're talking about is safety. All we're talking about is a trustworthy, safe space. The main thing to understand here, and I want you to take away, is that no matter what age the kid is, they need to have a safe environment in the household where they can have trustworthy, open, honest, non-judgmental conversations and connections and safe spaces in their household with their parents. This is not about parental monitoring. This is not about parental controls. This is not about technology and tech and big tech and all of those things. Yes, we can talk about it, but in this particular video, that's not the video for it. I want you to take away that you must have those spaces, whether you think your kids are on social media or not, and why you should not have your kids who are 8 years old just running around on social media unsupervised without an understanding and guideline and exactly how we're going to approach it. Every single day, kids and teens in particular are being destroyed by social media, whether destroyed emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, physically, or virtually by social media based off of the things that they're seeing or engaging with. I made an entire video just for you to break down how you can protect your kids from being destroyed by social media. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and go ahead to this video to make sure that you're watching everything you need to know to protect your kids from the bad side of social media.